Thank you. Thanks, Mikel, for this opportunity. It's a very great pleasure to be here. I think I was here the first time in 2020 when you did this congress I think it was 1 month and a half before COVID. And it was a very great time to see the life pre-COVID and post-COVID, no? But well, let's gonna start. My name is Fran. I'm the co-founder of StayforLong. We are online travel company based in Barcelona. We are 3 co-founders, Luis, who is the CEO, Raúl, who is the CTO, and me, who is the COO. As they say, we started 2015 in a moment that we were thinking how the travel can be changed in a market that I think it's one of the biggest ones. And we thought that innovation was very difficult to find a niche or a segment where you can find something to make it different. In that moment, Luis, my friend and co-founder, he was working as a revenue manager assistant in a big chain in Barcelona. And in that time, he started to work with a company that they are still here in Barcelona. It's a very well-known company. It's named By Hours. By Hours is a company that it's based on bookings for last-minute bookings, but very short-term bookings. It's for bookings that when you have a layover of 5 hours in Rome, they offer you to rent a room for 3 hours. So Luis, as the responsible of the chain, he started to work with this company, and then he realized that the volume was very, very active, very good, but the margin was extremely low. And for the hotel, was very high positive to fill these rooms in that period between the checkout of the last guest and the checking of the new one, but the margins were very low. So in that time, Luis and I we are friends. We still are friends. Now we are more co-founders, maybe. We are friends since, oh my God, yeah, 25 years ago. And I was working in Luxembourg in banking, and then one weekend I came to Barcelona to have a beer or some beers with him. And then he told me, look, I'm working in a hotel with this company, it's named By Hours, that the volume is very good, but I don't know how much money they can make because the margins are very low. Just guess that maybe the customer was paying 35 euros per booking. He's going to stay 3 hours. But the margin, let's say it's 20% fee, so the volume is very low, and I don't even know if they can pay the customer acquisition cost for the generation of that booking. But in that time, in that moment, Luis shared with me, why don't we do the opposite? So why instead of creating a marketplace where you focus in the niche of the last-minute bookings, where the margins are very low, why don't we do the opposite? Why don't we get the specialization to be focused in the long stays? And in that moment was very trendy moment, because in that moment we are talking about 2014, Airbnb was doing great, and the majority of the traditional customers who usually stays 10, 15 days in a hotel, they were moving to alternative accommodation sites as Airbnb. So we find out that maybe we can find the way to bring the hotels the best user type that they want to have, those who are going to stay longer. So instead of bringing 10 customers that want to stay only 1 night, why don't we create a specific target marketing ad to bring 1 guest that wants to stay 25 days at hotel, and in compensation, we will ask the hotel to give me something that makes my product unique. Either it can be a discount or some amenities that make my offer deal unique. So the idea was so simple. We didn't find in that moment anyone that was uniquely doing the long stay segment. And in that moment, we started the company. Luis quit his job. I quit my job. And then we created the company using supplier tech. We hired a firm in Barcelona to develop the website. We do it with a software named WordPress, you will probably know. It was a big mess, and it was we were working for 6 months to create this website, but it was a big shit. It didn't work. I remember that through API, we need like more than 1.5 minutes to upload the rates from one hotel. So makes that UX experience for the guests was a big mess. So it was in that moment, but maybe it was the first lesson that we learned, is that if you want to create a travel company, you might find a way to do it with WordPress. But if you want to have a tech company, if you want to have a deep tech company that acts in this sector, you have to have like a third co-founder who is acting as a CTO and create the architecture to scale up the company. That's why in that moment, I remember July 2015, I started to scrap everyone on LinkedIn that I see the job backend developer. And I started to try to find a person. Of course, we don't have money to pay him salary. But maybe it's life, maybe it's God, don't know what. After 300 messages, we find someone that he was quitting his job as a backend developer. He had in that moment 2 kids. He was 38 years old, and he decided to join us and create the company. I don't even know where we will be there now if it's not for this guy that is the third co-founder. So we started the company, and the first thing that we do as a marketplace is like, okay, we have 2 sites here. We have the offer and the demand. Which one are you going to start up with? So as it's obvious, we started to work with hotels. We closed 300 deals at the beginning, but the problem that we have is that the market is very big. So we closed 300 deals with hotels only in Spain. In Barcelona, we have around 95 hotels. We were holding deals with 5. We have hotels in Gerona, but maybe whereas you can find 15, we only have 1. So the offer was very low, and then the demand that we were bringing to this company was very low. So in that moment, we decided to switch, and instead of working direct to direct with hotels, that we validate that they really love to get long stay users, but the approach was not on a direct way. So that's why we started to work with DMCs and wholesalers that are third-party companies, that they close the deal with hotels, and through API, you connect with them to have access to the rates. And this was the cliché moment. It was the time moment. We were developing the website for 1 year, and then we started sales July 2017. The first conversion rate, the first week was very great. We do like 100 bookings in 1 week. And then we realized that they were very great because we didn't charge the customers the booking. So we're offering free. That's why the conversion was extremely good. So we were very proud of that. No? And then I think it's very complicated to sum this up in 25 minutes. But here, I just want to offer you like a very fast vision of where we're standing now. We started sales in 2017. In that moment, we were doing, we were only active in Spain, working with suppliers in Spain. We closed that year with a gross volume of 5.4 million and a net revenue of 400K. But now we are a global company. As I said, we are based in Barcelona. This is our 12-year life. We are, even if we are based in Barcelona, we are active in 38 countries, being France, UK, US, the biggest source market, where the customer is now. And as a destination, Turkey, Egypt, Spain, Greece, all the holidays destination is our top destination. Even if we are based here, we do consider that now in this moment, only 5% of the bookings that we do on a daily basis are coming from the Spanish source market. This is why, because from the very beginning, we decided to make a deep invest, to have a technology, to be able to scale up the company, the website, the UX, the API, deep tech integrations, to scale it up as much fast as we can. Because one of the things that we see in the market is that the volume is very huge, but in travel, the majority of the needs of the market, what we see is that the volumes are very high, but the margins are very low. And when you play in a market where the margins are very low, it requires that you have a very deep control over your customer user acquisition cost. And I think this is why most of the companies failed here, because at the beginning, they have under control the CAC. But then there is some moment when you want to scale up that as the margins are really low and the competitive is very high, and it's a market very based on pricing, this is the moment when you can fail. So that's why we know that, and then we decided this is going to happen to us if we remain only in one country. So that's why in 2017 we opened 10 markets. 2018 we opened 10 more. And then in COVID, we closed it all because there is no sales. It was a big nightmare. And then we reopened that, and now we are active in 38 countries. To give you where we are standing now, we are here now. This is the numbers of 2025. We closed with a year of 311 million gross booking. This is what I collect from the customer. Okay. But then on one single year, they proceed to do check-in in the hotels that we're working with 1.1 million customers, that we make more than 640,000 bookings on a daily basis. We are working through third-party suppliers with more than 350,000 hotels. And one of the things that the value that we bring them, and that's why we are very well known, at least in the B2B side, with them, is that we provide them customers that stays at least with an average booking value of 700 euros, whereas the majority of the OTAs that you can find, they are very strong in 1 or 2 nights length of stay. We want to have less volume than the competitors we compete with, but we want to be unique in the long segment. So that's why my length of stay is 4 nights, whereas the benchmark in the market it's around 1.52, but my ticket size is 700 euros. And here now it has changed that, but this is why we could scale up the company. If you remember what I was saying at the beginning, CAC is a big thing here. Margins are very low. So what we do is that as we were only bidding on marketing ads to acquire long stay bookings, the net rate, the take rate, the margin for 10 nights is higher than a booking for 1 night. So as the margin is higher, what we realized is that the cost of acquisition, the pay-per-click, it was exactly the same, no matter the nights that the customer is going to stay. So you pay the same for one guest that was staying 1 night, that you pay the same that one guest that wants to stay 10 days, but the margin is 10 times bigger. So that's why we find this imperfection, to say in English, imperfection, to bid and have a very ROI, very positive at the very beginning. At the end, things have changed because this was 10 years ago. And now it's not possible to bid for bookings because you can bid, but the cost of acquisition now is adjusted to the number of nights. But in that moment, we found this opportunity to create volume. Volume makes you start what we name the supply flywheel. If you have sales, because your growth is good, you get you offer sales to the hotels, they are happy with you, and then as you are sending them guests, they will give you better pricing, and better pricing gives you repetitor customers, but also brings you new customers, and then you start to create what we name the supply flywheel. We are active now, as I said, in 188 destinations. And this is the picture from 2025. We were planning to grow 30% 2026 versus the last year, but Trump didn't like that, so we have this war in the Middle East. At the beginning of the year, as a destination, 15% of my sales were coming from Middle East. So what we see when this situation happens is that we start to readjust the supply strategy to US, South America, and Europe to try to compensate a little bit the results of the war that it seems that is not end over soon. So one of the things that we are really proud of that is that this issue doesn't affect us too much, because from the very beginning, again, we have the technology to scale up fastly, to diversify. We are now, as I said, in 40 countries as a source market, but in acquisition channels from where my customers are coming, nowadays we are working with more than 25 acquisition channels. So that makes us that when there is any change in one of that, you can try to compensate with the others. This year, we are going to close around 400 million, 430 million. Net revenue, last year, 28 million net revenue. This year, it's going to be around 38. And this is happening thanks to mainly have focus in two things that I think it's the base of why success, if we can name this company as a success, which I think so, is that growth at the very early stage of the company is the key point. So you have to grow to have a massive access to the guests and learn by the massive of clicks that you're having. We, as I said, we moved the company from 100 million gross 2021 to 400 this year. And the second thing is that we have a highly invest that we love to pay to acquire customers, but we, from the very beginning, we know that the acquisition channels might have a deep change. We are staying now with the AI. They are saying that maybe in 3 years, 30% of the acquisition channels for bookings will come from AI. So we want to be sure that we move the company that at least 50% of the bookings that we do on a daily basis are coming from a non-paid acquisition channel. So that's why last year we closed with organic guests, organic bookings. It was 45% 2025, and this year is going to be around 51%. So I'm only paying to acquire 49% of the bookings that I do on a daily basis. So growth, organic health growth, and the second thing and the third thing related with the first one is that now at least more than 30% of the bookings that we do on a daily basis are coming from customers that are in the user database. So it means that I'm not paying again to the different acquisition cost channels to acquire. So these drivers will say organic, repeat rate, and growth. Manage these three. I think it's that one of the reasons that we are able to manage the external facts from the market that can bring your company down. To end up, we want to say for us, as you probably know, in travel, pricing is the king, or at least in the niche of the market where I am here. So the pricing is the big value that makes us to growth, but then you cannot only growth by reducing your margin. So that's why one of the things that we do is that, I think it was since 2023, we decided that we made a huge investing in our pricing team to create a team that can help us to drive the company to growth, even if we put down the take rate. One of the things that we are having now is that even if we increase the margin, 2024 my take rate was around 7.1, and now is around 9. So I increased 2 points. In some acquisition channels like Trivago, from 8 nights, compared with my competitors, I have the best bid, 30% of bid. What is bid? It means that in 30% of the searches on Trivago, StayforLong is the best deal. But the value of that is like, okay, you can manage this, it can be even even bigger if you downgrade that. But the proud thing we have here is that we are competitive at least in 30% in Trivago search from 8 nights, but at the same time, we were able to increase the take rate from 7 to 9%. So for us, I would say that now we are a company of 130 people, and I think that, if I'm not wrong, more than 45 people from different teams, from PMs, from finance, from sales, from tech team, they are involved in the squad of pricing. So I think it's like, we say 40% of the company on a daily basis, they work how to make this even more optimized than it is now. To sum up, as I said, we are active in more than 38 countries. We are expanding now. We have a legal entity now in UK. We are planning to open South America as a source market. In South America, we see that the market is has a very huge potential, but there is some things with payments that we need to solve. And this is where we're standing now. I mean, we are very proud to be a company based in Barcelona. It has been a long journey. When I see the panel, I don't know if you see here now, it was, we started the company to exit, but we didn't sell the company because the exit was in Catalan. So yeah, I mean, I think it's an exit thing because even if we don't sell the company, or maybe now with this is going to happen, okay. But I mean, it has been a long journey. I want to avoid you the explanation of what happened in COVID because it was a very tough moment, but we learned a lot of things. But yeah, I mean, we are extremely happy, very proud. Life has changed a lot since 10 years ago. But I hope this inspires you. I'm going to be here if you are trying to raise money or you are trying to scale up. We're very open now with the C-level team of the company. Now we are trying to create like a community to act as a business angel and see if we can help someone to raise money, or if we see any company that can help us to make the vision of StayforLong big. But to sum up, we are fighting here with the big companies, but our main goal is to become the leading long stay company by doing more than 1 billion gross booking in the upcoming 3 years. So thank you so much for your time, and open to chat with you now.